When I was working for this very big corporate in their Calcutta office in one of their divisions as a communications manager, I was often told by my boss कि आप तो कहीं दिखते ही नहीं. Much later, I started pondering why he had said that. What he essentially meant was that I was not really visible. He never saw me go and talk to my other colleagues, go from desk to desk, asking them how their week had been or if they learned anything new. Basically, to just do small talk and go from desk to desk. But this really got me thinking because couple of videos or about 3 videos back, I remember talking about the fact that why it's so important for someone to know their own nature, how they are as a person, whether they are extroverted or whether they are introverted. It's very important to know. But after this got me thinking, it really seems that it doesn't matter which industry you are in. Um, all that matters is, of course, along with the skill set that you're bringing in, what matters is if you're visible or not. If the people who matter in your organization, if they are able to see you or not, even if it is not your work which is getting highlighted, are you as a person, as a part of the team, are you out there enough so that your supervisors or your bosses uh, can get a perception of your involvement or your level of engagement? Let's face it, merit alone does not get recognition. You may be the most skilled worker in your team, in your organization, but often what we see is our hard work goes absolutely unnoticed. Our managers or our bosses have this impression that we are not really working, even though we are actually working our asses off. Why does this happen? This happens because you or your work is not getting highlighted enough. It's not in the field of vision of those people in your organization who matters, who are essentially the decision makers in your organization. Perception is reality. You will often see that there will be some people in your team who are always out there, who are loud, who are very expressive, and they are sort of famous not just in your team but in other departments as well, and maybe even on all the floors of your office building. Why does that happen? Because consciously or unconsciously, what they do is they highlight themselves, they put themselves out there, maybe sometimes in a very outrageous manner, maybe in a more, reserved or in a more strategic manner. Maybe it's their strategy, but they actively put themselves out there so that they are noticed and they are recognized by the people who matter in the organization, because the leadership notices what is right in front of them. If you happen to be a very conscientious worker and you're there sitting on your desk, finishing all your projects, doing all those calls, handling your clients, handling the agency, managing your team, but if your supervisors or if your managers are not really seeing that, then what is the point of working so hard? Because eventually, when the appraisal time will come, these are the things that will be taken into consideration. I somehow sort of conclude that it really doesn't matter which industry you're in. If you are in a job, if you are working, your strategy should also be, apart from bringing the best skill set on the table, your strategy should also include how to highlight your own work, or if it is not your own work, how to highlight your own self, rather your own personal brand in the workplace so that you get noticed by the people who matter. You may ask, why does this all matter? I mean, I'm working very hard, I'm getting paid, I'm getting my promotions and appraisals, which are like sort of decent. Then why should it matter whether I am out there or not, whether I'm visible or not? Well, you see, visibility builds familiarity, and familiarity builds trust and confidence. If in your organization people know that, okay, so and so person participates in everything, so and so person is so vocal, They speak up for themselves. They also speak up for their team. They defend their ideas. They justify their strategy with valid points. They are never sitting quiet in Google Meets or even face-to-face meetings. They are always contributing. So, those are the people who will get noticed. And of course, when the appraisal time comes, these are the factors which will also be considered. But visibility is not like self promotion. Visibility is just self advocacy. You are standing up for not just for yourself, but for the amount and the quantum of work that you are doing in your organization. You are speaking up for your contribution to the organization. So, what's the harm in that? Now, here are some ways in which you can be more visible in the workplace. First and foremost, see, I'm referring to my notebook once again. First and foremost, build thought leadership. We all come with a certain philosophy of life, or a certain principle in life. So, build on that, embody your personal style of working and the way you build interpersonal relationships at the workplace. Embody it. If you are, say, someone who is very research oriented, make it your personal brand, make it a part of your personal brand, so that people know that, okay, this person is very research oriented, and they will not get their facts wrong, or their strategies are backed with solid research. So this way, I mean, there might be many other facets to your personality, how you approach life, how you approach work. So that forms essentially part of your thought leadership, and it can be embodied in such a way that, in a way, you're sort of building your own personal brand in the workplace. Secondly, speak up during meetings. If you are sitting in a meeting just absorbing everything, whatever's being said, without even saying a word, or if you're not asking questions, if you're not raising doubts, I mean, it doesn't have to be that you have to speak up on meetings, but I'm sure you can maybe uh, ask for a clarification, or say ask for a better explanation or a better brief. It is very important to be vocal in a meeting, in a situation where there are other people from other departments or people from other teams, where they are also participating. It's very important to show that you are involved at a certain level in that particular project, whatever is being discussed. So, yes, it's very important to speak up during meetings. Your reporting manager must be made aware of your progress. So, the best way to do that would be check in with them, set up a 30-minute meeting with them every week where you update them on your progress, and be sure to send in an email after that, saying that these are the things that were discussed, sort of like minutes of the meeting. Send in that email saying that we discussed these things, and I'm looking forward to your feedback and your inputs in our next meeting scheduled next week on that certain day and time. So it's always best to sort of keep your manager or your supervisor updated on your progress. And it's very important to also have all these things documented. Now, say, just because you're in the design team, it doesn't mean that you will not interact or mingle with people from the development team, or just because you're in the coding team doesn't mean that you will not interact with people from the, say, the content team or the sales team or the marketing team. So for visibility, it's also very important to build cross team relationships. How members of other departments perceive you also matters a lot, because every organization has a grapevine spanning across departments, spanning across teams, spanning across functional heads, cluster heads, etc. So it is very important that you build cross-functional or cross-team relationships. Now, earlier, I had this impression that it's not always a good idea to volunteer from the start, that yes, I will be the person who will do so and so work. But see, if you volunteer for certain high impact projects which come to your team, of course, this will vary from scenario to scenario. But if you volunteer for certain important projects, that need your type of skill, I think that's also a good way to build visibility in the workplace. So, yeah, what do you think? How did you build your visibility, or what is the strategy that you will use to be more visible at the workplace? Because at the end of the day, like I said, visibility builds familiarity, and familiarity builds trust. And yes, trust is important when it comes to your annual appraisal. Trust in the sense. A sort of a credibility, say it's something that sort of speaks about the value that you bring into the organization. So these things will matter when your appraisal time will come, when your promotion time will come. Even if you're not really interested in that, it will just give you more confidence. Like I keep saying, that it's very important to build our speaking confidence. It's very important to survive in this world, to be able to articulate yourself openly and confidently without the fear of judgment from people. So yes, building visibility in the workplace will also sort of indirectly help you be more confident, come across as a more confident person, as a more confident speaker, and it will also add credibility to your personal brand. So that's it. This is how you become more visible in your workplace. Do let me know your thoughts on this and what are you doing to become more visible. And stay tuned to this channel because I talk a lot about workplace survival strategies, life lessons. I also urge you guys and inspire you to, start making videos of yourself so that you can increase your speaking confidence. It will also give a boost to your career as well. This is something that you will also find out as you go along on this journey. So, thank you so much for watching. And until then, stay tuned and keep staying radical.